what is success? I've worked employee relations for many decades, and one of the things that I keep finding is that people judge success on having a good leaving certificate, a first-class honours degree, a master's, or even a PhD. But success is something that is completely different to each individual person. It's a personal thing. So what success means to you, and to you is something that will be completely different. I believe success is about finding a healthy balance in life that is right for you. Finding that balance, it's ongoing. It's a process. It doesn't end. Because it's not the fact that you have an end goal and you achieve it and suddenly you have a calm, peaceful, meaningful life. And because of the fact that it's ongoing, it will evolve and it will change. Education is one of the keys to that process. Education is what helps us to achieve that one thing we want to do in our lives so that it can be a success for us. And finding that balance will be very different. So along the way for each individual, we will acquire new skills, new learning. And the good thing about education is that it is open to people from all backgrounds. There's no limitations. And it allows us to expand our human mind with knowledge. So what it does with education and knowing that we are going to be successful, it means that our dreams can become a reality. And sometimes our dreams don't happen. And the reason they don't is because we don't believe enough in ourselves. We tend to sell ourselves short because we believe that we won't reach what that goal is to be. And a good friend of mine recently told me when I was telling her what I was preparing for, and she said her motto is, if you dream it, you can make it. And if we look when we start with our dreams and aspirations, they start from a very young age. I have a 9-year-old daughter, Anna. Her dream is that she's going to work for NASA and she's going to be the first woman on Mars. To prove it, she has a solar system in her room for the last 2 years when she decided that this was her dream. Each year it comes up, and even Santa now knows what needs to be there to add to that, so that each night she can focus. She knows what her dream is. She knows the path that she's going to get there. There'll probably be twists and turns, few diversions and probably a few bumps along the way. But if she continues to maintain her belief, it's a possibility. Yes, she will go through education and she knows the route that she wants to take. And it will be important that she attains those skills as she goes through education. But it's not just education. It's also going to be the social skills that she needs to acquire along the way. So it equally is the role of Paul and I as her parents to assist with that side and the educators to help her along the way in relation to what she needs to achieve academically. So education, and we go back to it being a process. We start educating from when we were very, very young to the time that we start learning to feed ourselves, when we're learning to walk. And each time as we evolve, we're learning new skills socially, both on the job, in a school college format, as part of life. They say that in the first 5 years of your life, you learn more than you will learn for the rest of your life. So if we take it back to that, that means that at that time, during that time, that's when a child becomes the person they're going to be. It's when they learn so many of their social skills, their empathy, about relationships, boundaries. And we know the fun with a young child trying to learn how to push boundaries. They're very good at it. So when we look at that and take it into context as we progress, some interesting facts to share with you this morning. The good news is that there are experts who've stated that if you're 60 years old and in reasonably good health, the good news is that you are going to reach the big 100. The not so good news is that a result of this, It means we're going to have to work longer. So as a result of working longer, what they say is that we're going to take some time out. We're going to have recuperation. We're going to be upskilling ourselves. We may even have some career changes along the way because we now will be working until we're in our 80s. So the traditional life model that we've all known, that the experts have said, is that from 15 to 21, you're in early adulthood. So that's full-time education. From 21 to 65, that's the career move, potentially across 3 companies. And then from 65 to 80, retirement on the self-funded pension. So as a result of that lifestyle change, what that's going to mean for education is a huge shift in how we educate ourselves, both on the job, because we'll be developing, goes back to recuperation, to upskilling ourselves, and all the changes that new advanced technology. And to be fair, even sitting here today, this probably technology we don't know that will even be developed that could be here in less than 5 years. So if we take it back to education, education is not just the traditional route. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with third level institutions, but it's open to us as individuals. It's not for each person to go that route, but there are other options available. And here in the Midwest of Ireland, we're very fortunate. We have University Limerick, we have Limerick and Tralee Institutes of Technology, our education and training boards, the local development companies, and we have a host of apprenticeship programs. We also have the Midwest Regional Skills Forum, which was founded in 2015. And this was part of the Irish government's national strategy, skills strategy, which was going to bring employers and the educators together to look at what are the emerging skill needs in each region, because there's 9 regional skills fora in Ireland. So when we look at that and all the different opportunities that we have, there's so many different paths that we can take. They don't all have to go straight from A to B. As I said, there can be many that have diversions. You can take a long route. It really depends what success is for you. What do you want to do? And how do you want to get there? And if I look at someone who's taken rather a long path to get to what they wanted to achieve, one to share with you is my brother Neil. Academically, Neil thought he'd never finish school. Leaving cert done, I think everybody breathed a sigh of relief. So he decided, because we were farming, that he was going to farm. And my mum stopped him one day and she said, "Why are you doing farming?" And he said, "Because why not? That's what we do. We have a farm. Dad's not going to be there forever. He's going to want to step down someday." And she said, "But why are you doing it?" And he never thought about that, because he wanted to, that was it, had to be done. And she said, "What do you really want to do with your life? Is it farming?" And he said, "Of course it is." Off he went and he did an interview, because he had to do an agricultural course. And my dad got a call to say, he did really well, but he actually talked about horses for the whole hour he was in there. And this is specialisation for pig farming. Don't really know. So my mum went back to her conversation and said, "Have you thought about this?" And he went, "I don't want to let you down. I'd love to work in IT." Because he was always breaking our toys and putting them together, not so successfully sometimes. So he decided then, he was farming by day, and with a government body called FOSS, he did nighttime courses in IT. So after a year, he then took up a job as a junior person within IT. He progressed through that and continued on his nighttime programs. Again, the study, but at least he was doing something he enjoyed for the first time. Today, he's a senior IT manager in an international security IT firm. He works side by side with people who academically are much more successful in that sense than what he was. They have masters and degrees. He took a longer route, but he got to where his dream was. Sometimes it takes a little help from somebody else. And whoever said, mums know best. So if we look at that and look at it can be achievable, it all depends on what route you want to take. And if I go back to Anna and her dream to be on Mars, the other day we were talking and she was really excited. NASA have just announced that they have a new program, Mars program. They're going to put people on Mars by 2030 to 2035. So she's there. She's getting ready. Her dream can become a reality. So the fact that she goes to sleep at night looking at the solar system, she can now believe, actually one day I will be there. So it's up to each of us. So if there's a number of things that I'd like you to take away with you this morning, it's this. Ask yourselves, what is success for me? And when you've answered that, ask yourself, how do I make that happen? And then when you've that answered, you know what your path is, what you need to do to be successful. Remembering it's different for each individual person that is here. So it'll be very different for you, and for you. Thank you.